Hey everybody, welcome to the Private Club Radio Show, where we give you the scoop on all things private golf and country clubs, from mastering leadership and management, food and beverage excellence, member engagement secrets, board governance, and everything in between, all while keeping it fun and light. Whether you're a club veteran just getting your feet wet or somewhere in the middle, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Denny Corby. Welcome to the show. In this episode, we are talking all things golf carts, innovation in the future of club transportation with Mark Rickell, the VP of Sales over at Club Car, and we're going to get a little behind the scenes insider's look at Club Car's journey and some big updates that are coming. We touch on the latest tech advances at Club Car, some updates to their fleet management system, and what is coming next for golf cart customization. Some really cool stuff. We talk about their new urban EV, which is really cool, and just neat to see all the different options and what people are able to do and have nowadays, because everyone's need is a little bit different. We also get a little litigious. No, we talk about if you might be following the golf industry on the regulatory side. Mark breaks down Club Car's recent case with the International Trade Commission to ensure fair competition in the marketplace. So we touch on a lot of things from fun to serious, and Mark's a really funny guy, so he and I click well. So it is a really good conversation. Plus, we talk about Club Car's expanded reach, including their debut as sponsors for the Solheim Cup, making their first entry into women's golf. Mark also gives a sneak peek as to what Club Car has in store next for the PGA show. So you're definitely not going to miss out on this episode. If you're enjoying the content so far, sign up for our newsletter. Head on over to privateclubradio.com. Pops right up. Wait about 3-4 seconds. Stay up to date with all of our content that way. Also, big shout out. Thank you to some of our show partners. You're going to hear about them more later, but Kenneth Member Vetting, Concert Golf Partners, Golf Life Navigators, and myself. The Denny Corby Experience. There's excitement, there's mystery, also there's magic, mind-reading comedy, and tons of crowd work. DennyCorby.com. But Private Club Radio listeners, let's get to the show. Let's welcome, from Club Car, Mark Rickell.
That's cool.
So real quick, who is Mark? I mean, because you're a funny cat.
Well, yeah. Well, Mark is he's been in the industry. Mark Rickell, Club Car VP of Sales. I've been in the industry now for 11 years, and it's been amazing. I started my career, interestingly enough, with Ingersoll Rand. I was in the industrial sector, supporting industry with compressed air technologies, tools, fluid material handling, all the really boring stuff. And I had an opportunity to join Club Car 11 years ago, and I haven't looked back. And as I shared with you earlier, I enjoy the long-term relationships that you find here in the golf space, and the fact that people are very loyal when you do good things for them. They do good things for you. So I've enjoyed it. It's been tremendous.
Yeah, it's a very, very loyal industry. Yes. No, that's so cool. So what do you like most about being in the club space? But I think more specifically, golf carts. I mean, there is something to be said where we are as grown adults. I mean, and granted, okay, it might just be me. We can drive vehicles, all these, things that go super fast, but there's something about just jumping in a golf cart that is just so much fun. It just brings out the inner kid. Like it is amazing.
It brings the kid out. It does. And it's like going go-karting, and I know it's not the right choice of words because I don't want to send people off in the wrong direction, but you have an absolutely great time driving the vehicle, and you're kind of a little bit off-road, as you're driving through the golf course itself.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. It's open air, and it kind of gives you that 360-degree Jeep experience, if you will. So, and I would say the other part that's enjoyable about it is you're socializing with your friends, not just playing the game. So yeah. It's a great time.
What separates Club Car from everyone else?
That's a good question. And I'm sure it's different from anybody else that you might ask that question to. But I will share, I think that for us, there's what we call the Club Car difference. What we try to do in everything that we create is put a lot of energy and development around the quality and safety and reliability of the car. We want people having a great time, but we want them going home to their families in the same form they showed up to play. So I will also say we have a black and gold culture, and that goes all the way down to the line folks. These people do a lot for the success of the vehicle performing at these individual golf courses, and they have a lot of pride. But that pride shared through the whole organization. So all those elements is, I think, sets the difference between Club Car and the rest of the competitors out there.
Now, what's the off the record? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't say anything.
No, but it kind of brings me to why I wanted to talk a little bit today, and because it's something I guess I didn't even think about or would even think about, but it's a hot topic, which is the pending action of the U.S. International or the ITC International Trade Commission in the Department of Commerce. What's going on there?
Another good question, and certainly it's on the top of a lot of folks' minds. Our channel partners are highly engaged in what's happening. Certainly, the market's highly engaged in what's happening, and what we're facing is just some unfair practices of imports that are coming in, and it's affecting the market. So we went to the International Trade Commission. We gave testimony, and the case was accepted by the Department of Commerce. And now we're proceeding with potential tariffs and countervailing duties against those, unfair practiced imports. So it's a big deal for this industry. And, if it's not unchecked, it could be very damaging. What the ITC and the Department of Commerce recognized is it was severe enough that they saw damage, and so that's why it's being pursued.
Can you go?
But
Can you
the
on that?
pricing element of it, sure,
Okay.
absolutely. So in most of these cases, it's a price dumping or anti-dumping campaign, and so the coalition that's working with Club Car is what we're going after, and it's not about getting them out of the market; it's getting them to be, a fair partner in this marketplace.
For someone like me, can you dumb that down a little bit more?
Sure. I'll give you a very good example. So if our car costs $10,000 and that's what it cost us to build it, get it into a channel and sell it to one of our customers, they're coming in at, call it half that rate. And I'm making these numbers up, but just to show you some of the dynamics, it might be at 5,000. Those are subsidized by the importing country's government. There's also tax abatements that are applied to that are unfair, and there's also discounts that they're applying to the elements of the product, which is unfair. So, I'll give you an example of that. That would be steel tariffs that exist today of, call it 279%, don't get added into the cost buildup of that car. So they come in at a very low rate, but it's all subsidized, and we can't compete with that.
Got ya. That's definitely tough. So
very difficult.
So now what is going on? What's the movement going forward? What are the next steps there?
Yeah, great question. So obviously we got the positive vote. It was a unanimous vote, and there's a significance to that, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. So what happens next is there are hurdles or dates out there in the market that says, okay, the Department of Commerce is going to do their due diligence, and essentially they go to these manufacturers and they'll do a full audit of the buildup of that product. And they will decide what the appropriate tariff needs to be to bring this back to parity in terms of competitiveness in the market. The fact that it was a unanimous vote means that there was potentially high damages. So that gives us the opportunity to go pursue countervailing duties, which are all the things that I talked about in terms of subsidy, tax abatements, and all these other discounts that they have provided on the product. So now you have two elements. That is supposed to be September 13th is where we get the reading. Now, it's coming around the corner.
Friday the 13th?
Now, yeah, September 13th. So that's a critical date. Now, what we will expect from that is they'll push that to October because they want to take the time to make sure they're not making a mistake either. So fully expect it to be sometime in October that we'll get the full announcement on what the countervailing duties will be. And then in December, we'll get the tariff. And so then it will just become temporarily in place. And then July of next year, we'll meet with the Department of Commerce and everything will be finalized. So pretty exciting.
Kind of. Yes and no. Like, yes, but also like, whew, okay. Speaking of exciting though, what exciting products do you guys have in the works? Anything?
We got a lot of good things happening. I can't give away, all the story, but what I can tell you is we're making a lot of introductions to the products that we have today. So there'll be some additional technologies. There may be some facial changes to the product, some updates in terms of how you'd be able to use the product. That's all coming. Looking forward to the PGA show because that's our big reveal typically happens at the PGA show. So you'll see everything from the golf side of the business to the commercial to the commercial side, consumer side. So we have three key verticals, and those verticals are all growing and expanding, and there's a lot of desire for new product development. So all that's in the works.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Club Car Urban?
So the Urban is a final mile delivery vehicle. Again, when you think about the EV space, there's been a lot of change there over the last 10 years. We're fighting for that space as well. Predominantly Europe is kind of the introduction to the Urban. If you've traveled internationally, many of those cities kind of lock down around a 5-6 o'clock hour because of the tourists that come through the city. Very difficult when you've got 6,000-pound vehicles rolling through the city streets that are not wide enough for everybody. So they shut that down for protection, but also to make it a nicer environment. But they still have to deliver goods. So the Urban is kind of that vehicle that can deliver it. It's an electric vehicle. It's a small footprint, and it's not over, call it 3,000 pounds. So the interaction with the population is much better, a lot safer, and it doesn't go over 25 miles an hour. So we see that really emerging here in the United States. Predominantly, it's on universities and campuses, municipalities. But we do see small towns and cities that are going to take on that sort of look of let's protect the community. Let's shut down the cities from, call it the big aspirated vehicles. And that's why Urban is going to be very successful here.
I like that. That's fun. What's the and I'm just looking at notes that
Sure.
that Lynthia sent. Updates to your fleet management system?
Yeah, so we have an FT Plus, and it's an addition to what we call our Visage. Okay, so Visage is on the golf cart today, but we needed something that would be more commercial. And so on the commercial vehicles, there's still an interest in how to control the product. You can control it with speed. You can control where it goes. So the FT Plus now gives all of our commercial vehicles that same sort of capabilities. And from an operator, you get to see where it exists inside of a certain footprint, right? So you create the geography, and then where is it sitting? What's the dwell time? Are my people working, or are my people having a nap under the tree? They can get that sense, and they can go drive improvement in efficiency and performance.
Big brother coming after. I see how it is here.
Maybe little brother.
Little brother. Cousin. The cousin. That weird cousin that we don't talk about at family gatherings. We all got him. Anything else you want to touch on, bring up?
We definitely have a whole consumer lineup, which I think is a lot of fun. You talked about having fun on the golf course. We now have that product for the consumer base, but it's a PTV, which is really designed for that consumer space. So something that's in the garage, but you can enjoy your local community and environment. And if you see, what's happening around the countryside, there's a lot of planned communities that are developing, and a lot of people go home, put their car in the garage, and they head out in their, PTV. So again, it's a little Jeep experience. It's a different way to enjoy a lifestyle. And we've got the new Crew that just came out. So if you've not seen that, have you seen that product?
I have no need for one, but I want one so bad.
Bingo.
I'm not even kidding. I want one in my studio. Like I want to do my interviews sitting in a Club Car Crew in my man cave.
Exactly. It's awesome. I love it. And it's a great product.
When I went to the PGA show last year, no lie, it was like I ran to that booth. When I saw it in person, I was a kid in a candy store. Like I could not be happier to sit in that thing.
Yeah, I love that product. And, again, same thing. We've had the Dallas Cowboys do rolling interviews with their cheerleaders and other football players. So it's almost like Confessions of a Taxi Cab. You remember that show? Just a great product to have fun with. That's obviously on the commercial side, but just from a personal consumer aspect, it's a great way for families to get around in their communities. And the nice thing about that product, it's slightly larger than what you find in the market today. And we looked at it from a standpoint of, hey, you got a lot of SUVs out there, right? And sometimes it can feel intimidating. Well, this is a product that you can put your family in and kind of compete for size and space, but still be in an LSV.
Yeah. No, it is. It holds what, like 6 people?
It holds 6 people.
Six people. And I like the left seat swivels, or is it the driver's seat too?
Yeah, both seats. It actually reverses the back
Yeah.
support, so you can switch it where you're now part of the compartment and you're just enjoying the fireworks or a park or maybe just pizza in the park, right? So it's a lot of fun.
Pizza in the park.
Pizza in the park.
Pizza.
I think we need to make
Where
a new
where
show
do
with
you
you.
live that there's pizza that close to the? Where are you at? Where is this? Where is this heaven?
I have an Uber delivered to me.
Oh. Domino's showing up in the middle. Mark? Was this
Mark,
over
hello.
here.
Yeah.
Like under a tree, just hiding behind, like pops out.
You'll find me by the oak in the park. Yeah. They love that. They love that one.
If the squirrels chase after you, just run. Like they won't stay long. That's funny. No, this is fun. Anything else you want to touch on? Add any questions you want me to ask you?
Let's think. What else could we? I don't know. Are you PGA show important?
I'll
for
probably be
your
there.
listeners?
Yeah, it could be. What are you bringing to the PGA show?
Yeah, I mean, so PGA shows is certainly a significant importance to our business as well as the rest of the golf space. But it's a great way for us to introduce new products. And as I shared earlier, we've got a lot of new elements to our products that we're going to be showing off. So I just recommend people stopping by the booth and taking a look and getting a handle of what Club Car is doing to change the commercial, the consumer, and the golf space. A lot of neat ideas that are coming to fruition.
And you're even at the CMAA show, correct?
We do. It's not as big, but we
Right.
certainly participate. I mean, most of the folks in there are good friends of Club Car, so we like to support the CMAA. We do a lot of local chapter support. So you'll find us throughout the U.S. With the local chapters there, but great organization.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. No, that was all pretty good. Because like some of the other stuff really isn't like super like relevant, like talking about the President's Cup and stuff like that, because it's stuff they already kind of know. Like it's so because they're like we could, but then it's just wasting time at that point. Like it's just
I think
like
so. Well, the only
shouldn't
one
say
thing I'll tell
wasting
you,
time, but like
yeah. The one thing I would share, and whether you do anything with us or not, that's up to you. But for us, this is the first time we do something on the big stage for women's golf. So from the Solheim Cup, we're certainly supporting that, and we've got our captains' cars out there for both teams, and we're going to be supporting big staff and customers coming into that opportunity. So that's exciting for us, really is. And so again, it's just our first entree into the female tour.
oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome. Congrats.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I don't know what the Oh man. All right. Well, hey, thank you for being here. I really appreciate this. This is a really fun chat.
I've enjoyed talking to you. It's been fun. I hope to see you around now that I know who you are. I've heard your name, but I've never actually had a chance to meet you. And obviously we're at some of the same venues on a regular basis, but I've got your contacts, and I'll let you know when I'm in an area. And if you're there, let's connect sometime.
Have your people call my people.
Your people call my people. Be good. All right, man. Sounds great. Thank you for your time.
Hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, a like, share, subscribe. It means the world, costs nothing. Sign up for our newsletter, privateclubradio.com. That's this episode. Until next time, catch y'all on the flippity flip.